Welcome to a short meditation, mindfulness of thoughts with binaural beats. Enjoy. Just get yourself comfortable. Just relaxing your shoulders, your hands, your legs, your toes. And just gently bring some attention onto the movement of your breath. And as you breathe in on this next breath, just saying in. And as you breathe out on this next breath, saying out. We breathe in and say in. And breathe out and say out. In, out. Enjoy. In, out. Now as we breathe in, just saying the word calm, and breathing out and saying the word ease. Calm, ease. Enjoy. Calm, ease. Now as you just relax, listen to the guidance and take what you want and leave what you want. Nothing more for you to do now other than just relax. We are one of the most advanced species with the most advanced neurological system on this planet. It is truly incredible how this mind of ours works. It's an enigma. No one truly knows. It is a paradox how we define ourselves by it and it alone. We see and expect people to see things as we do, although we forget how we see things will always be different. And this is beautiful. This is incredible. This allows us to be who we are, or at least gives us the opportunity to be who we are. To recognize our incomparableness. Although too often we get identified with the way we think, or at least the way we have interpreted our environment. We view our environment through how we are feeling in that moment, not as who we are. We get so identified with our thought, it shapes and magnifies our external environment. This identification with our thoughts and feelings shape our world, when in reality, it is just something that is moving through our world. And next time you're stood outside, try and hold on to the breeze. I promise that will get you just as frustrated as stopping thinking. Or get a lasso out and try and catch a cloud as it passes by. Impossible. We know it naturally comes and goes effortlessly. And we can do the same with our thoughts and feelings. Their destination is the same place that they arose from. We don't need to get in their way, we don't need to hold on to them or lasso them. We can sit back and watch them, which is why we practice, why we meditate. It allows the rest of the external world to soften and gives us an opportunity to play with these movements, these happenings. When we recognize we are getting reactive or identifying with our thoughts, next time try and find where this thought came from in the mind. Look at it. Even now, inquire into the next thought that comes. You aren't trying to challenge it, not trying to battle it or get rid of it. Just explore it. Be curious. Does it have a colour or shape? Where does it go? Where did it come from? Even ask yourself, where did this thought rise from? Where do they go? Where do they hide? They just seem to come and go from nowhere. And there is no need to get in their way. We just let it soften back into that nowhere again. Our process of managing our thoughts have become overwhelming and something we feel like we need to stop because we believe that we can. We have completely identified with our thought process and begin to see our world through the lens of these thoughts and feelings. And this is where our problem lies. A lot of how we think has been manipulated by our environment, by people, by advertising, news and social media external to us. We aren't thinking for ourselves, we're letting other people think for us, controlling our environment, controlling our lens, our view on this world. And we just let them, without a second thought. We let them drive comparisons, drive judgments, We let them control our level of self-worth and self-esteem. And even now, as you listen, you may be identifying with my words. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. And this thought begins to create emotion in you. I, not anyone, should have this power. Not without your agreement. We shouldn't allow anyone to leave their footprints in our mind. We can listen, but we can choose. We can feel, but we can choose. Now, if we are listening and reacting blindly, then this is not choice. This is like the owner dragging its dog around by the collar, when all that dog wants is freedom. And this freedom is yours to take too, or ours to take too. If we soften our identification and bring in our own choice, choice is the space between the stimulus, the thought, and emotions. It allows you the freedom to guide your own life rather than be guided by others. If I was to ask you, and let's do this, I want you to answer this question. What is the most important thing to you right now? Right now in this moment? Think. If the answer was anything other than being alive, then I'm sorry, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. We believe it is everything else, but nothing else matters other than the fact that you're living, breathing, alive. How can you do anything else without this life, this breath, this moment? That is why so many teachers talk about it, that what we do now matters most. Our problem is what we think and feel is more important than life. Our emotions are more important than everything else. We exist rather than live. We live from one stimulus to the next with our judgment on whether this stimulus is good enough. And this judgment takes us out of living, both good and bad. When we're judging, we're not living. We are comparing something that has happened and now stuck on that. Or we're comparing what we had hoped would happen and didn't measure up to and get stuck on that too. We forget whether good or bad, whatever it is, just is. We don't need to judge it. We lose perspective of who we are. We think one loss, one circumstance, one event, and it ruins our whole world, our whole universe in reality. We don't just see it as an event, a circumstance, another happening. Our whole universe gets defined by this thought about the happening, and it becomes so narrow. Our whole universe gets defined by this thought about the happening, and it becomes so narrow, so small, and we feel that constriction. When in reality you are the whole universe. It breathes with you, even now. You have a choice. Narrow your world down to a bad thought, a bad emotion, or let yourself be who you are already, the inexhaustible one. We try too hard to create the perfect thoughts, the perfect emotions, the perfect life, and trap ourselves. We turn our own intelligence against ourselves. We continue to fire that second arrow over and over again. So much is focused on what is bad in our world. And this is where we need the space of choice. We forget to experience the beauty of our world, the wonder of our world, the awe of our world. And instead we experience it through our thoughts and how these thoughts make us feel. So give as much space to each thought as you need. Give as much room to make a choice. Some days will be better than others, but as Pema Chodron says, fail forward, always fail forward. You are worth it, you are worth it, you are worth it. For this space, it just takes one thing. Practice. Repeat over and over. Breathe, inquire, self-care. And have an amazing rest of your day.